showtime.
All right, as we were saying. Nigga, this man Kenny is posed up like it's a freaking what is a One Direction concert? Like
no, hold on. You know what I was doing? You know,
a
Envy
Big Time
versus
Rush,
Eli?
a Big Time Rush concert. You remember Big Time Rush on Nickelodeon when they used to do them poses?
First of all, I do, but I didn't know they were Nickelodeon, man. So I was rolling up one day to hang out with my boys, playing one of the songs, and they're like, "Yo, why you playing Big Time Rush, bro?" I'm like, "Who's Big Time Rush?" I was like, "I thought the song was catchy." Yo, I deleted it from my iPod that day. I got roasted like there was no tomorrow.
Bro, when Big Time Rush was the thing, that's when I was still like trying to figure out who I was as a man. So I was watching all that shit. I was watching Big Time Rush. I was watching Hannah Montana.
No shame in your game, bro.
Ain't no shame now. Look, I'm a grown man. Ain't nobody finna judge me now, but I'm talking about back then.
I'm gonna judge you, but that's okay.
I mean, it is what it is. Like, it is what it is.
But you know what I was trying to do? I don't know if you've seen that video. It was like Eli versus Envy. Please watch that. I can't tell you the contents of that. But when they start off, one of them dudes that was the judges is like this at the camera. That's what I was trying to do.
Hell no, man.
He had the long white tee and he's just posing like this. Also, the fact that you went all the way to Big Time Rush, that's like the polar opposite. So I feel judged, and I feel like you know.
You are slightly judged. Like I feel like it's like there's no like that's why people be judging me, be laughing when people be confused when I know certain things. Like people don't realize I watch the CW shit. Like I watched TVD, the originals. I watched all that shit because I was trying to figure out who I was as a man.
Smallville and all that.
Yeah, I watched all that shit because I was trying to figure out who I was as a man.
I mean, I think you mentioned it on last week's show, but like CW was just like WB and UPN.
Yeah, so I was watching all that shit.
Right, I was gonna say UPN had like PJs and all this, and the WB had the Dawson's Creek and like
exactly.
I'm being very blunt, but it was just like a polar opposite. Like, and then they combined. So that was a weird cataclysm of
yeah, so it's like and to find out that they pretty much canceled everything. Like everything is canceled. Like I think it's only like 3 shows. And they're all American. All American Homecoming. I checked out on both of those shows because I just don't give a fuck.
Right. I tweeted out like when NXT's coming back to CW, I was like, yo, they gotta get Jagged Edge on there to be like just perform somebody to the ring, have Jeff Hardy vibing like this. But it's got to be Noam Dar, right? Because Noam Dar is like let's just say Noam Dar is gonna be the one that's invited to the barbecue nowadays.
Sir, I am 29. I am not ancient. Talk about I feel ancient watching you.
I was gonna say, we're talking about UPN. UPN wasn't that long ago. Was it?
No, it was like I think it stopped being UPN in like 2008 or 7.
Right, that's what I'm saying. Like
it was UPN for so long, then it became what was it? It was UPN, then became the CW in like 2008. Right, that's when SmackDown moved over.
Sir, in the chat, how old are you? Because you're making us feel old for no reason. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's Big Rich on my Discord. Like he's cool people. He always be fucking with me because they always call me old in my Discord. I'm like, bro, I am 29 years old and I just turned 29. So it's like, bro, I've been 28 for the most of the year. So how
you're an elder statesman apparently.
But we're gonna get ready to get started. We're gonna Highlight's gonna hop in when he can because he handling some personal business, helping his mom out with something. So we're gonna go ahead and get started. All right. And got a lot to talk about. So it's gonna be a good, fun time. If you haven't already, make sure you guys stick around for the official. I'm trying. I don't know why I said it like that. Official introduction. That's what we're. He said he's 27. Bro, you're 27. And you're like, bro, you're not that younger than me. Please go to hell.
You understand you and Gresh were like in diapers at the same time? Like you understand that, right? Like, he was just size 4, you were size 2. Now me, I'm old. I was probably like 47 at the time. So
yeah. He went from Jey Uso to Solo Sikoa to Umaga in like within a week. But, hey, producer man, which is me. Let me go ahead and hit this introduction one more time.
Oh yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, stand to your feet and make noise for GRESH Unleashed!
Let's go! When the club go around here, I'm the cactus. Bang, bang, gang, I don't owe you jack. When I'm in the ring, it's just me and my best friends. OC cutting no slack. Hollywood Miz, you can put me on the A-list. GRESH Unleashed, better put it on your playlist. Me and my fam be ballin' like the Bruce. Fight night, baby, hard hitting like Sheamus. Family first, yes, bloodline business. Winning all the gold, look at how they witness. I was taught to be the greatest. 1,000 days and running, check out the book of Guinness. Coolin' with the baddies in the baddie section. Guarantee you they ain't jaded. Hero, you baby face, I ain't feeling your gimmick. The fans think it's overrated. Brock Lesnar on the beast. Eat, sleep, flex, and repeat. Whole new swag with a price on the tag. Coming live from the west to the east. Better recognize on the mouthpiece. See the power level gotta increase. Bringing content on a daily. Feeling like GRESH Unleashed.
Greetings and salutations, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, non-binary pals, baby mamas, baby daddies, and everybody in between. Welcome back to the GRESH Unleashed podcast. This is episode 47 of this podcast. You know, joining you as always is the voice that does the most, the purveyor of mischief himself, GRESH, GRESH. And joining me in just a little bit is my boy, my main man, Highlight Real. But joining me for the very first time is a special guest. He is the main man himself. He is my boy, my partner. He is Kenny. Kenny. Not king. He is a king, but he's not king.
Do you know Kenny does mean king?
Yeah.
Do you know that's the meaning of it?
It's my main man. This is my man. He's becoming my main man on Twitter, on the Twitter machine. We don't call it X in these streets. The Twitter machine. What's up with you, my man? Kenny.
What's up, man? Thank you for having me, man. I'm honored because I've been wanting to be on your show for a little bit here. But you know, I had to clear the rights. You know what I'm saying? I had to run it through the proper authorities. You know.
Yeah, he had to approve it from Roman and the bloodline because you know
I had to prove it from the family. You know, they had to
people swear you're Jey Uso for some reason.
Dude, what's funny is I took that picture, right? Like, just I'll blend it out. I took that picture right after getting a haircut. My boy cuts my hair like literally feet away from where I'm sitting right now. So he cuts our hair in my house. And I just take a picture to show like a friend, you know, one of my crush. I'm like, yo, you think the mullet looks good on me? Mm-hmm. And I use that as my profile picture. And for some reason, everybody starts saying, oh, he looks like Jey Uso. He looks like this. And I just ran with it. That was unintentional. That was totally unintentional. If you zoom in real good, you'll see little baby hairs on my face.
Little baby hairs. At least you ain't pulling the Carmelo Hayes and doing the rent a baby hair like that, man. Like, bro, you out here sneaking my boy Trick. You out here them rent a baby hair. Come on now.
Right.
We're not doing
Let's talk about something. Let's talk about whoever the barber is for NXT. They use a lot of Beijing because Braun Breaker and Lexus King, and it's, how do I say this? It's the white boys that have the Beijing. So I'm a little confused. Why? There is some real neat hairlines and beards in NXT. I'm just saying.
And they're leaving the brothers out to dry. Like if you're not,
it's not even like it's literally Braun Breaker and Lexus King that's using it.
Everybody right. Like, what are we doing here? Like, what is happening? But man, yeah, it's good to have you on here, bro. Like we got for a lot of people, like we got a lot to talk about. Not too much to talk about. Like we ain't got too much to talk about. Like the strike being over, you know, that's the thing.
Yeah.
The SAG strike is over, so that means no more John Cena, no more The Rock. So we're gonna see Roman Reigns versus The Rock at WrestleMania 55.
Right, and it gives me time to save up some money. So you know, I'm all for it. But you know, whoever took my boy John Cena away, I'm gonna need to have a conversation with them because
I mean, and it's your little brother Solo.
No. I'm saying whoever. Okay, now you talking kayfabe, right? We talking who took John Cena away in real life, man. They couldn't keep it like one past one episode of SmackDown.
No more Batista.
No more Batista.
Oh, that brother was gone in 2019.
Look, I'm surprised the Miz is still there, right? Because obviously he's a Hollywood actor. A-lister. I'm just surprised that he's still on the show.
He's on a list, but A-lister.
Hey man, hey, keep your voice down. I literally live right next to a school. Hey, that's fact, for real. I joke with my boy when he comes over. Every time he comes over, I open the door, and he's like, "What's wrong with you?" And I was like, "Oh, I just want to make sure nobody sees you come in the house. I know you're not supposed to be so close." Dark jokes without saying it. You know what I mean? You don't say the rest of it.
Don't say the rest of it. But no. We appreciate you, and we appreciate all of those who support us on Patreon. And so those who are watching us on Twitch, YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, wherever you're streaming, we there. We out here. We out here. But we appreciate you guys. It is a stacked show. We're gonna try to get you in and out because we know a lot of us got work in the morning. So we're not gonna try to keep it's a late night show, but we're not trying to keep you out past midnight like we've been doing for the past 2 weeks. We're gonna do it. Yo, what up, Ken Lewis? I see you in the chat. What's up with your partner? Appreciate you for kicking it with your boys.
Hey, great name, by the way. Great name.
Kenny. Yeah. Highlight is on the way. He is fashionably late, but he has some family business to take care of. But we are in the building for those of you. I'm traveling. Obviously, it's not my usual setup. I'm literally
I was like, this ain't the same. Like,
I'm literally in North Carolina. I'm literally in North Carolina right now. So it's like I'm not even at my usual setup. I don't brought out the Blue Yeti for the, like old time for the people who've been following me for like literally, I guess you could say for the past 5 years. I retired this like 2 years ago when I got a new set. So I had to bring this out. This is now my travel mic. So we got you covered. We got you. And speaking of we got you. And speaking of we got you, speaking of that, Talking Ish, we got some more news for that. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the newest installment of the Talking Ish with your boy, my main man, Jay Bougie. That was a fun conversation that was literally a good time. Like I said, the feedback on that episode is humbling, and I truly appreciate you guys. But it's time to announce another one. As on Thursday morning, I have none other than Lo of Wrestling Wind Down. She is in the building for Talking Ish. That is also a conversation I am personally proud of, where we talked all things from being a Black content creator in this space, more specifically being a Black female content creator, as well as a woman wrestling fan in a space full of toxic people. It was an insightful conversation, personal stories, etc. Make sure you check it out this Thursday morning. And that is all the announcements for Talking Ish. And speaking of Talking Ish, bring it in my main man, Highlight Real. What's up with your partner? Say hello to the masses, even though it's like a couple of people here. What's up with your partner?
Can y'all hear me?
I can hear me. Yeah, I can barely hear you. Turn your mic up. We live, baby.
Let's turn it up.
Like on Chappelle's show. I can't hear it. Turn it up. Turn my microphone up. Turn my headphones up.
Lordy. Okay.
We live. We barely hear you.
Yo, hold on. He sounded like Kanye on ET, the ET remix. You know what I'm saying?
Bro, you might want to check. I might want to check your settings on your microphone.
It was hot though.
We hot though. Whoa. Come back.
New world order.
new world order. Check your mic. Check your mic. Your mic is literally glitching, brother.
bro talking through the microwaves. You see this comment?
It's like, you want to test it right now? We live, baby. Yeah, you might want to come back. Just come back.
It's okay. Just mime it and we'll translate.
Mime and we'll translate, bro. Like, I don't want to get the LGBT, but not the LGBT, but the
American Sign Language.
Yes. Yeah. It's a lot of letters. My bad. So you might want to come back. Come back. Because we can't hear you. Come back. Come back, bro.
Come back.
It's like, bro, you're struggling. Like, you're messing with the vibes. But yo, like I was saying though. Let me go ahead. Like, yeah, we live. It's cool. It's cool. But yo, make sure you guys check out that Talking Ish, as well as My first What If video in nearly 2 months drops this weekend, as well as I personally enjoyed making this one. I'm still in the process of making it, but I hope you guys enjoyed as well, because it's pretty much my last time on the WWE 2K23 game, because this shit is irking my nerves. But we going yeah, it's irking my nerves from a creative standpoint. Yo, highlight, you good now?
Check, y'all. Check.
There it is.
Round of
Smooth. He coming in smooth like Wanye now.
Yeah, round of applause for my boy.
We unplug.
We're gonna keep it in. We ain't even finna cut that out because it's good content.
Hey, you feel me? We unplug one mic to plug another one. You feel me? Let's go.
What's up with you,
here, baby? What's happening, fellas? What's happening? How y'all feeling tonight?
Feeling good now that you're here, bro.
Hey, it's a party.
Yo,
let's go.
Is that pot? You got pot on your shirt?
Oh yeah, we got pot tonight, baby. We here. We ready. You feel me?
We loud and clear. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So, yo, I got all the announcements out the way. Make sure you guys check out that Talking Ish with Lo from Wrestling Wind Down, as well as keep it locked on the GRESH on YouTube channel, which is @GRESH, for new videos that I'm going to be working on, as well as retrospectives and all that good jazz. So with that being said, we might as well go ahead and start our football roundup, where we freestyle about our favorite football team and highlight our favorite play. But in my case, it was a bye week for my Dolphins. So I ain't really got shit to say. But other than them dogs, the Georgia Bulldogs going 10-0 this Saturday. So we in there, we undefeated. So the floor is gonna be to you two to talk y'all football-ish. And if you want a hot potato or whatever, I got you covered. But you got 2 minutes. Get the ball rolling.
I'm gonna keep it short and sweet. All I'm saying is my boy is a big fan of the Bucks, and every time I watch a Bucks game, they win. Y'all know their record; it ain't good. But we're swearing, yeah, exactly. Now they won, and I watched the game. Coincidence? I don't think so.
Dwayne, your turn.
Man, he just had to bring that up, didn't he? You know what? I think it's just safe to say, as a Tennessee Titans fan here, it's official, y'all. This season is a wash. It's done. It's over. We got a quarterback, sure. It's a nice future. But right now, the team's trash. Blow the whole thing up. Blow the coach up if need be. Yes, I'm overreacting, because at this point, what else do we have left for this season? I don't know. We got Jacksonville up next. For all I know, who knows, people? All I can tell you is, I'm just here. I'm coasting. I'm in cruise control, baby. That's where we at. See y'all next year. And that's that. Yeah.
And I was going to spare the Falcons. I got less than 60 seconds because apparently I didn't watch the game because I got better things to do in my life. I literally, when my team took a bye, I took a bye. I literally did not watch no football Sunday. I was literally doing everything else but watching football. But apparently some people tried to lie to me and say, oh, the Falcons won. So what you got to say about that? You lost. You lost at the last second. That's what I got to say about that. So you want me to respect you as a football team, but you lost at the last second. Be like Seth Rollins and hate football and go the hell away, because you're not doing it. You're not doing it for me. That's why I don't even say I'm from Atlanta. I took the location out my bio because I don't respect you. I don't.
Hey.
Yikes.
Go away.
Hey.
Leave me alone. And time's up.
Go Dirty Birds. No, I'm just like, okay.
Fuck them niggas.
As the music rips.
I love it.
That was your football roundup for you. And now that's a nice little transition to go into the either or both of them, where we basically have for this week only, we will create a random wrestling scenario that we would have 90 seconds each to choose and explain why it could or could not work. And if the person can't choose, their safe word or cop-out is to say both of them. So, Kenny, as our guest, you have the floor to give us a proper, I guess you say, scenario for this situation.
So mine is more so not even a hypothetical. It's something that's supposed to happen. More
Okay.
so. So the situation is 2007. Mr. Kennedy became. I'm a big Mr. Kennedy fan, right? Mr. Kennedy became Money in the Bank winner, right? And then he tore his tricep. Now, as Money in the Bank winner, he's supposed to cash in. He said he was going to cash in the next year at WrestleMania 24. Okay. Problem is, he needed surgery, so they took the Money in the Bank off of him and gave it to Edge, right? My scenario is, if we could go back in that situation, he's not misdiagnosed, and he gets to hold the Money in the Bank. What is his trajectory in WWE? What do you see for him?
I see him filling the cash in.
You think so?
Yeah.
I don't know, my guy. I might have to go with the other way. I think he would have won that. He was on track. He was on track that year. He was on fire back then. He had that rocket.
He was the next guy. That's kind of what I'm getting at. And then not only that, but here you want another scenario. The next year, he's supposed to be Mr. McMahon's illegitimate son. And then in other words, they were trying to get him back there. And then he failed a wellness test 2 times. So you want to talk about messing up both of them? There we go.
And years later, Vince McMahon tried to recreate that with Austin Theory, ladies and gentlemen. There you go.
It's true.
Speaking of people who I don't claim to be from Atlanta, that motherfucker. But yeah, we're gonna go with Kennedy was a lost cause, brother. But yeah, I'm just gonna say he still was they was gonna find a way to make him fail. I'm sorry, like back then, I'm like looking back, I'm like they literally did not have no long term anything with that man. So I'm not surprised. I wouldn't be surprised.
I'm gonna say, you see the look the rest of us have here. I think we will respectfully disagree with that, because I think Kennedy was supposed to be the guy. I think it was supposed to be him and Lashley, and maybe another person I'm forgetting around that time period. But there were some guys that were on the up and up, and then for one reason or another, kind of went at that time.
Okay, that's a nice little scenario right there. So let's go ahead and switch it up to This Week in Wrestling, so we can go ahead and do what we do. Like, if you're here for a full on breakdown review, like word for word, bar for bar, you at the wrong show, brother. We're not finna do all that shit. We got bullet points. We're gonna talk about the bullet points, and we're gonna move on. We're gonna talk about the NXT, Raw, SmackDown, AEW, because our main course is Full Gear. That's going on this Saturday. Literally, there's another pay-per-view this Saturday. There's another pay-per-view next Saturday. So there's a lot of shit going on in the month of November, especially Thanksgiving. So that's a thing too. So, we might as well go ahead and start with This Week in Wrestling. Might as well kick off with the one that we just finished watching, and that was NXT from November 14th, 2023. And the bullet points that I got from this was Chase U. They are currently under investigation for whatever Chase whatever he did that shit. That's all I can say right there. So what do you guys think is going on with this Chase University thing? Like, let's start off with you, Kenny. Like, what do you think they doing with this?
To be honest, this is one where I don't know, because it could be them debuting someone new. It could be I don't think, with the revelation that we got later on, I don't think it has anything to do with Mello and Trick. So it's like, I actually don't know where they're going with this. I think maybe JC's got some dirt on him, and it's as simple as that. It's kind of like a
you think she
blackmail kind of thing?
I'm about to say, you think she playing with him?
Right. Like, I think it's like a blackmail thing of like something or other. Like, he's not in it's probably gonna be something cheesy, like, oh, he's not an accredited university.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
What you think they got going on with Highlight?
Continuing that point, it seems like it's trending in that kind of direction. But in some kind of case, Chase U here is crumbling before our very eyes, and JC Jane is the culprit behind it in some aspect of a. Let's go back to the remember Bounty Gates. and spy gates and deflate gates and all that good stuff. Yeah, you have your JC gate here. You know, maybe JC Jane planted something from within Chase U to cause Chase U to crumble. I don't know. Maybe. Nah, they're not that bold. They won't make it a sexual harassment kind of thing. But who knows?
Well, I'm about to say they doing
NXT.
whatever they doing with Joe Gacy, possibly jumping off the roof. So
Yeah.
So who knows what they doing?
Yeah, that was surprising. I was like, oh,
I was so confused with that. I'm like,
Yeah.
what the fuck are you doing? What like, bro? Why are you on?
Yeah.
Like, what the hell are you talking about? First off,
We have no idea.
Yeah, I feel like he's rambling a little bit nowadays.
he's got the whole world.
Yeah, but not that good ramble.
Not that good ramble.
Bray Wyatt could like keep you captivated while talking about nothing.
This man was literally just looking at the thing like, okay.
I got so disinterested. I was just like, yo, this dude needs like a cleaning because his teeth is yellow.
Goodness gracious.
That's how like bored of it I was, right? Hey.
Our boy Ken said JC's innocent. Don't do that.
Ken, my guy, again for the second week in a row, man. Really? You're gonna make this a regular thing on this show where I'm just like, Ken, really? Gosh.
But
man.
obviously that led to the family regaining the tag team titles. And my first question was like, what was the point of taking them off of them in the first place? But
yeah,
exactly. It's just an example for them to show some real true mafia-ish, I guess. You know.
So yeah, because apparently they have a new member in the family. Finally, I forgot her name, but it's a nice. It's a young blonde. She got that strong stereotypical. I'm a part of the family accent. So it's like. I'm interested to see what they do with this. Like, are they, like, what are they doing? Like, that's the beauty behind it. Is like you're asking that question, like, what the hell are they doing? So that's an interesting scenario. I literally skimmed through. Like NXT was typically NXT. Like it was fun. I had my moments, but I also mainly took notes about the Iron Survivor qualifying matches, which was picked by Lita, who know damn well she don't watch that show. Like let's keep the stack. No pun intended to the stacks. But you know damn well you don't watch that show. Come on now.
Look, why Lita is everywhere but where Trish Stratus is. Did Trish Stratus take her ass out?
Yeah.
Get your revenge. Get like do something. Why you in NXT?
Triple H probably said, "Why you bringing up old shit? Why you bringing up old shit right now?
Twist your fate, man. Twist the fate your son out of here, man.
Like, man, we don't move on from that. Like, Becky done avenged you in the steel cage. We moved past that. We'd already seen a feud between you and Trish. It's all right. If we want to see you and Trish again,
hold on. Did we? We really did see Trish versus Lita.
I mean, 2006.
Okay, but
that's enough for me.
A long time ago.
That's enough for me.
UPN was around back then. CW wasn't even a thing. Going back to what we were saying earlier.
That was enough. That was enough for me. Just like this was enough for me too. Jakara Jackson.
Yellow
Jackson.
Lash
legend.
I'm talking about on point tonight, boy. Every night.
I had to give him some praise. My bad. I had to change the subject because that was a nice little subject.
Understood, brother. Understood. Miss Jackson was looking good tonight.
You're looking good.
Looking good, my boy. What they say coming to America? The good Lord can't make it like that.
Oh, steaming like a pot of neck bones, dog. Oh,
oh my goodness.
Before we get into the Iron Survivor qualifying match, what you think about the what was the Supernova sessions? and Otis basically stroking the air. That man, the Supernova session, his man was like,
oh. Shout out to OT showing us he love the sisters. Got love for the sisters.
I was gonna say ever since the days of Alicia Fox. Dude, hey, he let it been known since day one in WWE. So hey, no shame in his game, man. I appreciate it. I appreciate it.
It's love.
And then Maxine was hyping him up. I'm like, You down with the swerve? But then again, knowing who Maxine's boyfriend, yeah, she down with the swerve. Yeah, we in there. We in there. Hey, Maxine.
Welcome to the family, cuz. Invited to the cookout. You did? Yes, sir.
But speaking of cooking, the first Iron Survivor Challenge qualifying match for the women, or the second one, because I believe Tiffany Stratton qualified last week. The winner of this one was Lash Legend, which is apropos because she defeated Roxanne Perez, last year's winner, so she's out. Shout out to Kiana James, the Black Queens. They got to stick together. So shout out to them.
With the Mexican hat. Cut back to that picture. What's up with this man in sombrero right there?
Where? Oh, you talking
about right above Lash? What's wrong with that man? Look like
You
Gary
know what?
Coleman with a sombrero.
You know, some of these fans. You know what? Right there, who that bootleg Stone Cold Steve Austin over there behind him, dog?
No, look at Otis next to him, man.
Hey, man, for real, bruh. Is that Michael? Is that Michael Smith, bruh? Michael Smith got an app. What the? Hey, man.
NXT it's some characters down there. I'm not even gonna hold you.
I was gonna say, imagine you go to watch a nice episode of NXT and then you just got 3 dudes roasting you on a podcast like the next hour.
You know, this crowd is the definition of you get what you pay for, because they didn't pay. It's free.
$3.99. Right? Remember, I live in Tampa. I'm an hour away from like going to NXT, and there's a reason why. There's not enough showers in the world that I can take for after NXT.
Nah,
I just say it like that.
Yeah, because they be camping out the day before.
Yeah, I seen the video.
Good.
Like, bro,
I seen the video when Undertaker and all them was there.
I already know it was smelling crazy in there.
Yo, I'm talking about there was dudes without their shirt on. I'm like, yo, if it's that kind of party, like where you have to not have your shirt on, bring a second shirt, please. Please.
And bring a portable washcloth, like a whole bathtub. Like bring a portable bathtub where you can just dip in and just get out.
I was gonna say, how do I say this? Kosher. You think that them people in the middle of Florida know what a washcloth is?
Yeah, you
They
right.
whole bar of soap on their ass. I'm talking about no washcloth, and they're using the same one on their face. Am I lying?
Yikes!
You go in and take a shower right afterwards. Your dad's pubic hair on your face.
Dang, taking Dirty South to a whole new level, man.
That makes this picture from Gigi Dolan a whole lot more accurate.
TG, girl, I knew you knew what it was about. I knew you knew. You know she got to be in there every week.
Oh man! And you know what she did with that tampon thing? I mean, and she's disgusted by people.
Yeah, we don't. Yeah, we don't talk about Priscilla. We won't talk about what Priscilla did with that.
Yeah, she needs this.
Why you bringing up bullshit?
Yeah. Yeah. Sorry, Trips. Sorry.
That's behind her. You know, a long time ago.
I wish it was behind her the first time, but here we are. So it is what it is.
Never was in front of her. Thank you.
I wish it wasn't pulled out of her. So that's a whole situation right now.
I'm just saying she can't be looking at people disgusted after that clip. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, that GG pick is like that's what I'm saying. You're gonna get mileage out of this pick, like for real.
That's right. Especially the dude that's real happy in the background too. It's just like the juxtaposition. She's disgusted and he's just happy to be there.
Oh my goodness. Oh Lord.
And speaking of the being happy, they almost got me. I thought Trick was about to lose, but our boy Trick Williams qualified for the men's Iron Survivor Challenge after defeating Joe Gacy of Gallus. And people think like I'm performative on my disdain for Gallus. Them boys put me to sleep.
Theme song?
Once the theme song plays, I be bopping my head. But once the bell rings, I be so every time. Like
I got love from a boy Joe Gacy. Not Joe Gacy. Oh my God, what's his name? Joe Coffey.
Joe Coffey.
I got love from because
I'm about to say same thing with Lexus King. Like I'm not moved.
Okay, but that's warranted. That's warranted. I was gonna say Joe Coffey. I got love for him because I was standing behind him at JFK Airport when we was leaving WrestleMania 35 weekend, and I tapped him on the shoulder, and I was just like, "Hey man, you headed back to Orlando?" And he seen my wrestling shirt. We had a whole conversation, bro. Legit story. He's a cool guy.
Oh,
I
yeah,
can't say nothing but nice things
that's the
about
thing.
him.
It's like I try to tell people, like, I'm not disrespecting anybody personally. I'm not coming on these shows to attack anybody. I'm just saying,
That's not what Joe Coffey told me.
in the ring, I just don't care. I don't care. I don't care about coffee, tea, whatever. I don't care.
Why you got a problem with Wolfgang, bro?
What kind of name is Wolfgang?
I mean, it's a beautiful name, first of all.
No.
Classical artist.
No.
All right, Gresh, we're just gonna have to agree to disagree. And don't bring it up again because it's gonna be old shit by the time the show is done.
It's already old shit now. Why you bringing up old shit? Oh, right. And
why are you talking about pumpkin spice lattes in the? What are you talking about in the chat here?
Come on now.
Yeah, just wait. And Lexus King is not gonna move me, bro. He will move me to go to sleep. That's the only thing.
I tell you when you're gonna move me is when you stop using that Beijing, because there's just too much Beijing in a man's hairline.
It's safe to say that all these brothers are part of a nice school called NPU. No personality university, ladies and gentlemen, because there ain't none in any side of them whatsoever. So, hey, on to the next thing.
Oh yeah. So, what do y'all think they're doing with Carmelo and Trick? Do you think Carmelo is playing games with our boy Trick? Do you think because I'm gonna start off. I expect both men to be in the Iron Survivor match, and probably score like pinfalls and all that stuff, and then hot take may not be hot take, but I feel like Melo might screw Trick to get that dub. What y'all think?
Yeah, I think it's a red herring talking about Lexus King being the one to take out Trick. I think we will find out something like Melo paid him or something. Melo paid him to take out Trick. So something's gonna happen. I still don't trust Melo. I don't care what Mr. Perry says on X, because he's always trying to tell me that Carmelo's innocent. I don't believe it.
I like what Ken said. Keep your enemies close is how the saying goes. So I feel like Melo is starting to see Trick as a threat. So he's keeping his enemy close, and it's gonna break our hearts when it happens. So there we got to do what we got to do. But
brace yourself, people.
Lexus King, you disgust me. You disgust me, you bitch. Fuck you.
I want to like him too. The thing is,
I do not. Ever since he got bitched out by MJF, I'm done. I'm like, bro, you are never taken serious by me ever again. I do not care.
I liked Brian Pillman Jr. I'll tell you that much. I'm giving him a chance. So in other words, if I don't like him, there's something wrong, because I did like him.
I never did.
Yeah, we know you a hater. We know.
Yeah, I hate that dude. I hate him. When I wake up, I'm a hate. That's all I'm saying.
You do understand that waking up and thinking about Lexus King is just weird shit, right?
Wait, whoa. Pause, rewind, and
that's what you said.
I said I wake up and hate. I don't wake up and think about that man. Let's not get that twisted.
Tomato.
I wake up and think about my lady, who's probably listening to this right now. So
and be like, who is that asshole with the green screen behind it but nothing on it?
Oh, she probably texting me right now telling me all this. Like, someone said he's Omega Light. Man, bro, that is an insult to Omega Light.
I was gonna say, I was like, that's a weird. No offense, but that is a weird comparison, because I've never in my mind.
I'm about to say, remember during his last few months in AEW, he was starting to dress like Kenny. So I'm guessing that's where that tagline comes from. They call it Omega Light.
All I remember from his last couple months was when Christian was roasting his daddy. that was yeah. Your father was a legend in this business, and he'd be ashamed that the last thing that he ever did in this business was you. It's like, oh my God.
And then you didn't fight back. First, MJF holds you out, and then Christian holds you out.
Right, Christian still got his balls. That's what's happening. That's why there's no Riz when it comes to right now. It comes to Lexus King.
That brother has no, as the kids say. And I know I'm trying to sound like an old man, but Riz is not in this man at all.
Right,
at all. But what is a little Rizified, if you will, is Drew McIntyre. He
Yo,
aligned.
hold up. Ken Lewis in the chat. I gotta say this before we move on. He called this man. He said, "Y'all gotta lay off Lil Sweet, aka Lexus King." He's talking about Lil Sweet. I'm on the Dr. Pepper commercial.
It's the sweet one.
Hey,
I can't
dog.
unsee it now. I can't unsee it now.
Hey, you know what? Yeah, that's accurate.
Right. That's a
Ken wins, ladies and gentlemen. Ken wins.
right.
That's it.
Good night, ladies and gentlemen. That's it.
He ain't waking up from that one. If he was already punked out, that's official. Now you cannot come back from that one. Thanks a lot,
Right.
Ken. You gave him the kill shot. Pun intended.
But Drew McIntyre, he officially aligns with Judgment Day. What you guys think about that? Because we're going ahead and switch over to Raw because we're going to talk a little bit about a little stuff over there. What you think about Drew finally aligning with the Judgment Day?
It's a
We're gonna
shame.
start off with you, King.
So who we starting off with? Me?
Yeah, you. I said Kenny King.
Okay, my bad. I couldn't hear you. Look, first of all, all my senses was focused. All my senses was focused on Rhea Ripley, so I lost my train of thought.
I respect it.
That's exactly what I was going to say. Is look at Rhea Ripley. You understand why Drew McIntyre did what he did.
I understand your plight. Yeah,
right.
I expect him to have a tattoo on his neck within the next week or so.
I would say so. But in all seriousness, what I do like is that it makes sense for his arc, because I think the best heel turns are when like there's a justified reason for it, which is exactly this. The bloodline took his ass out. Listen to Samantha Irvin in the background, by the way. She's amazing. But the fact that he's basically like not a heel as much as like, yo, I'm supposed to forget that Jey Uso and the bloodline screwed me. So it's like he's a heel just because the fans like Jey Uso now. But in real life, he is kind of justified for what he's doing. I think that's the best heel turns, in my opinion.
Well, my thing is, Drew, it was Solo that screwed you. It wasn't Jay.
It was Solo.
Jay was probably in the States at a Waffle House.
I mean,
but he aligns them all.
He was at the States at a Waffle House.
He aligns them all, because you got to remember, even in the build-up of that, though, Jay and Jimmy were both kind of just, antagonizing him throughout the entire feud. They just couldn't be there that night, but they played a part in their own way, just always interfering.
True. So, like, let's say something about them Aussie shorties, man. Them Australian waters got some power. I don't blame Drew at all.
That's what I'm saying. Like I without going into the full story, my boy, who is now married with a kid, by the way, messages me. He doesn't watch wrestling, and he's just like, "Yo, I got a question." So Rhea Ripley, and I started going like, "Oh, you like really find her attractive, but you don't know why?" He said, "Yeah, what's up with?" And we had a whole conversation that's just like, "Yo, it doesn't matter if you're gay, straight, black, white, Asian, whatever you are, Rhea Ripley."
Rhea Ripley.
Right.
Yeah.
Rhea Ripley.
Respect.
Yeah. Point. What's there left to say? It's like, hey.
But when all this happened, it's like the question is like, does he join the Judgment Day in War Games? Does he join the Judgment Day after War Games as some sort of Scottish Terminator for hire, or does he replace someone in the Judgment Day?
But didn't JD officially become a member of Judgment Day as well?
Yep, he did with that big ass head.
So I'm surprised you fit it. Did you have to like resize this picture?
Yeah, I actually did. I genuinely had to do it. I'm like, bro, yo,
understood, because I was like, his head looks pretty small there. Pause.
Oh no.
But I was gonna say, I'm thinking he's in War Games, right? I'm thinking Drew McIntyre is gonna be like the fifth guy, as in like he's gonna be the last guy. I don't think we get and hopefully I'm not jumping ahead, but I don't think we get an announcement of who the fifth man is gonna be for the face team. And I think Randy Orton comes out at at Survivor Series.
So you think that rumor is accurate? Where they?
I think so, but it really depends, right? Because like I'll say it like this: my opinion is, I don't even want to get into this topic, but like if Punk is coming back, I think we get Orton back on Raw next week.
Okay.
If Punk is not back, which I don't think he is at this point, I think Orton is the surprise at Survivor Series.
Right.
We'll see.
So, we'll see. So yeah, it was like I kind of like I think I saw a clip. It might have been Angle, where he basically was like Drew McIntyre gotta like defeat Seth Rollins for the World Heavyweight title, but with Judgment Day. So he was saying like he thinks that they need to probably like kick out Damian.
Okay.
Because you know how they made a whole big deal about him saying, "Hey, I'm the leader of the
leader," right?
So, and you know they don't like that leader tagline. That's the reason why they kicked out Edge. So it's like he fails to cash in the Money in the Bank, and then he replaced Drew. They basically replace him with Drew.
I was gonna say Drew would be a pretty good replacement for bisexual Undertaker, and I think I see somebody call him that, and I was just like, I can't not see it every single time. So, yes. Anyway, so I think you're right. I think you're right that Drew, Damian Priest does get kicked out, but I don't necessarily know if he fails, because what I could see happening, for example, is Damian Priest cashes in and beats Seth Rollins. And then that's when Drew they turn on him, turn him face as champion, and then Drew says like, "I'm coming after your ass because you knew I was coming after the title. You're the champion now."
Oh, like a jealousy type gimmick,
right? And so now it's like it's a feud that makes sense because they were gonna feud with Damian Priest anyway. True. And now it's for the world title.
That'll be a nice look, and Seth can go finally get surgery on his back.
For the love of God, man, he's selling that back like crazy. Like I worry about him every time he come out.
And speaking of, we might as well continue with the topic on Judgment Day. Does WWE have a Rhea Ripley problem? And what I mean by that is you have her out here getting cheered over your supposed babyface. And in my opinion, that's a problem. Like what do you guys think about like my question? Is that a problem? Like, because you're not getting nobody to cheer for her unless you're Becky Lynch. I'm sorry. Like if your name ain't Becky Lynch, you're not getting cheered. You're not getting her cheered because she out here cutting passionate babyface like promos. I'm real bloody Ripley, and mommy always comes out on top. And I'm like, bro, how do I boo that? And then you have Zoe cutting babyface promo 1-on-1, and I'm like, okay, you'll have a good match. Ken, your eyes are wandering. Like, what's your thoughts?
Well, I'm thinking. To me, it's like, yes, it's a problem, right? But is it a Rhea Ripley problem? As in, like, is it her fault that I'm as blunt as I can say? Is it her fault that she's better than everybody right now? And it's like, should you be stepping up to her level? As in, like, what are you doing to like get to that next level? It's like I always say, like, okay, this is a real life philosophy example I have. If I come in the house, right, and my boy's hanging out, he's all happy, and he's like, yeah, man, I had a good day, blah, blah, blah. And I come in and say, shut the fuck up, bro. Like, why are you so high energy? No, that's wrong. He shouldn't be coming down to my level. He's happy. He's good. I should be coming up to his level. Why am I so miserable? So right. What I'm trying to say there is like, yo, if Rhea Ripley's over, you as a babyface need to step that shit up and get to her level, not I don't think Rhea Ripley is doing anything wrong. It's not their fault they're creating a superstar there.
No. I guess I worded it wrong. Like, it's like I'm not blaming her. I'm saying the WWE themselves have a Rhea Ripley problem to where they can't get nobody else to boo her because everybody else that they booked in front of her is not. You can just look and see that they're not on her level.
It's a good problem to have, though. It's a good problem to have.
It's a good problem, but also it's like they need to rectify that.
In fairness, they have a Rhea Ripley problem on Raw.
Oh yeah, because
I will agree with
Because
that.
that ain't happening on SmackDown.
Because remember when I was called a madman on Twitter when I was like, Raw needs to fight back when Kyrie came back. Because I'm like, bro, you have SmackDown and they have Kyrie, Bianca, Charlotte, Asuka, Bailey. Like I know people trying to diss Bailey, but she's one of the top personalities in WWE.
She changed it up in one night. In one episode of SmackDown, I will say that women's division, I mean, obviously with the damage control stuff, we'll get there.
Yeah, we'll get there.
I feel like they changed that whole division overnight. Not to say it was ever bad, but it was just like, a statement was made. Like,
oh yeah, for sure. So that's what I'm saying. They have a problem as far as like Becky and Rhea are fighting for their life on Raw. They are fighting for their life because it's like, bro, that's why I was laughing when people was like, well, Raw got more people. Yes, Raw has more people, but you cannot count on you can run out. You have extra hands when you can see who's left that you care about. You only care about two people: Rhea Ripley, Becky Lynch, maybe Nia Jax if you are two people, my uncle included. And then on SmackDown,
how is Unc? He still like her?
Oh yeah, I'm pretty sure he bought the TV yesterday. It's all good.
Understood. I mean, I understand.
Yeah, that was a whole thing.
Fair.
But yeah, it's fair. It's
Fair.
not. But yeah, I'm also saying like, and then you have everybody else on SmackDown, and then you have some rising stars in NXT. Raw needs to fight back. They need to get a trade something.
I think you put okay. Example: who's kind of overdoing NXT? You put Tiffany Stratton on Raw. It's fixed because now you have somebody who's just like she commands attention. I'm just using her as an example. It doesn't have to be her.
Rhea is too cool to get booed, like the Outsiders NWO type cool. Yeah, because the theme song fits the entrance. It's like you bopping your head to it. This is my boo. Like you feel it. So they have a superstar right there. And Becky is a superstar right there.
Agreed.
It feels like you're just basically wasting time into Becky. Either Becky wins the Royal Rumble and they face each other at WrestleMania, or Becky wins at the Elimination Chamber, and that's how you get that match at WrestleMania.
Yeah, we're definitely getting that match. I mean,
that's what I'm saying. So it feels like it feels like they're just wasting time, and I feel like that's their problem. That's their Rhea Ripley problem. Like I won't even say Rhea Ripley. That's their WWE problem. They need to build more stars to balance that out, because I'm noticing that on Raw. I'm like, bro, your babyface in this feud is getting out cheered by the heel.
I will say I think they're trying. Like I've seen, you've seen Xia Li step up. They showed a video package for Tegan Knox. I'm like, I think there is a big emphasis on like, we got to get, some of these women like brought up to the level. I mean, we saw it on SmackDown, like I said, but on Raw, I think they're trying and seeing who can lead out of the pack. So in other words, they're doing video packages, they're putting people in different positions just to see if like somebody clicks with the crowd a little bit more. I will say Zoe Stark. I love Zoe Stark in the sense in ring, but it was very confusing coming out of the Trish Stratus stuff, turning her babyface. I feel like the fans are confused on whether to cheer her or not. That lends itself to the Rhea Ripley problem, to your point, because it's like, okay, we already don't know if we should cheer Zoe Stark, and there ain't no way we're booing Rhea Ripley.
Right.
So that's the problem more so. But like I tell you, like right after that, let's say Zoe Stark, Liv Morgan comes back. I don't think you have this problem. As in like,
that's true. That's true.
Liv Morgan gets cheered and Rhea would be cheered, but she'd get the boot. So
yeah, because it's your typical underdog, and it's the story is there. She was the one that wrote Liv off.
Exactly.
So it's gonna be a story there. And last thing about Raw, who do you think Shinsuke Nakamura is talking to? Because it's his backstage promo. Like, do you think he's talking to a certain? If say Randall Keefe doesn't come back to War Games, you think he's talking to Randall Keefe, Orton?
Again, I don't want to say, but I'm like, I'm like tricking myself into thinking he's talking to Punk. But I'm like, I don't know. Yeah, I'm like, I'm tricking myself, but I'm like, I'm also like, I never blame WWE, right? As in, I'm not gonna be like, they tricked me. They made me think it was CM Punk. No, it's my fault if I thought it was CM Punk. You know what I mean?
True. Because it's like you're going, especially if you're an online wrestling fan that's going solely off of rumors from Fightful, Wrestling Observer and all that stuff. So yeah, of course.
Exactly, and that's what I'm saying. We might be seeing things that aren't there, but at the same time, like that's a lot of people said, "Oh, you're all stupid for thinking that's Bray Wyatt that's coming back," and I'll be damned if it wasn't Bray Wyatt after all the White Rabbit stuff. So
True.
there's a part of me that's like, okay, Punk's coming back, but like you said, I think with the War Games stuff can be interchangeable, which is like Shinsuke could be talking about Orton, he could be talking about Punk, which would leave the other guy to be in War Games. So it's like,
or they could just So that's what I'm saying. Or they could just literally just keep. That's what I'm saying. It's a guessing game, and it's a fun guessing game because it's like, who are you talking about? Is he going to fight this person? Is he going to join this person? Right. So like it's like the Punk thing. Like this dude is on social media trolling people. And people are buying into it. I'm not, because I'm like, bro, it's the wrestling business. Like, who knows? Like, and I'm at that point now. Like, if he comes up, will I pop? Probably, more than likely, because it's like, yo, it's a cool moment. Because it's this guy who literally said he would never go back to WWE. Fuck them, fuck WWE, fuck Vince McMahon, all that stuff. Even though he did the backstage stuff. But then at the same time, it's the wrestling business. You never say never, because everybody always say, like. We said the same thing about Edge coming back. We said the same, or Adam Copeland. We said the same thing about Saraya coming back, getting cleared and all that stuff. Like, you can't really say never. Like, it's just, but in this case, it's like, will it be Punk Battle of the GTS? Because I believe Shinsuke was using the GTS.
Shinsuke been doing the GTS, but he took it off of Kenta. So it's like there's other things that, like, anyway. I think what I appreciate about you, Gresh, is like, you got to be that type of wrestling fan that doesn't just piss away anything. It's good that we have hope that maybe Punk's come in and stuff. You can sit there and go, yeah, but all that shit he did in AEW and the backstage politics. But no, at the end of the day, we just got to be fans. And if he comes out, we pop. If he doesn't come out, don't go online and start saying, like, WWE tried to make me believe that he's coming back and they fooled me and screwed Triple H. And it's like, no, like, that's too far. Because you're also not, like, in the creative meetings.
Exactly. Like, you don't know what they're doing. And it's like, bro, it's a lot of wrestling fans who forget to be a fan at the end of the day. Because it's like, we're fans.
The way I always say, to back you up on that, is people forget that it's not about being right. It's about having fun. Mm-hmm. I would rather be wrong in every prediction that I make on Full Gear that we're about to do, but get swerved and have fun with it, because that's what we're supposed to do as fans.
Yes.
And the minute it's like, I knew that would happen, I told you it would suck, cool. I would be unhappy if I said a statement like that, because that means I didn't have fun with it. You hear me, JD from NY?
Ooh, talk to him.
Shots fired.
Yeah. That's the truth, though. I mean, come on, man. Wrestling is so much more fun when it's unpredictable. You know what I'm saying? I mean, predictability is good and all, and
people act like being predictable is a bad thing. Like, bro, I always use this analogy because like I said, when we was talking before the official intro dropped, I literally watched a lot of shit on the CW, and it was a lot of teen drama shit. And they was trying so hard, and a lot of the writers was trying so hard to outsmart the audience. When we figured it out in season 1, was like, bro, just stick with the plot, because if you change the plot, then you got to figure stuff out, and then it gets confusing, it gets convoluted. Predictable is fine, I promise, especially in wrestling. Like, oh, I got it right, yay! As opposed to them switching the story, and then you out here like, well, that doesn't make sense because this person hated this person. Now you're flipping, you overthinking it at that point.
Right? Because we were talking about WrestleMania 35, and that was when people were like, oh, Seth Rollins is going to win, Becky Lynch is going to win, Kofi Kingston's going to win. And I remember one of my boys went, oh, that's too predictable. And I said, no, you know what the problem is? And there's been a catchphrase ever since. I said, the problem is you're mistaking predictable for boring. I said, those are not synonyms in the wrestling business. I said, we could still have predictability, because that's exactly what happened. Those 3 people won their respective matches. But I'll be damned if Kofi Mania and that whole thing was one of the best moments of WrestleMania history. I cried. I was in the crowd.
In my eye.
Right. And I'm looking at, look, I'm just be blunt. My boy is sitting next to me, right? And for context, my boy's black, right? He's sitting there going like, this is stupid. I hit him. I said, what the hell? I said, why am I crying and you're not? I'm like, I felt that moment. Like, that was a moment in history. And he falling asleep. But anyway,
Well, to be fair, 2019 WrestleMania was mad long, so I
but to be
understand
fair,
his
he
plight.
falls asleep during every single wrestling event. I think he's got narcolepsy. Like, I'm not gonna lie to you.
Probably, yeah.
Right. So
That's what I'm saying.
don't
Like, I was struggling to stay awake, even though it's like outside of the Kofi and the
it
opening
was long.
and the main, well, even the main event, I was just like, bro,
The main event started on a different day, as in it was midnight.
Monday. It was Monday.
Yeah, it started on a Monday,
And
which
that was
is
the first time ever that WrestleMania was a two-night event.
two-day event, right? Now, sidebar, I'm not gonna say this whole thing. Trains stopped running by the time WrestleMania finished.
I think you told me that.
Yes, and it started pouring rain. So we're sitting there out there. Imagine 80,000 freaking people. It's 2 a.m. Everybody's soaked, and we're all trying to find rides home. I got home at 6 a.m. 6 a.m. I'm soaked. Horrible experience, bro.
No.
So when people go, oh, I want 1 day WrestleManias, I'm like, no, give me 2 days, because 2 days WrestleManias are so amazing. You get to go home and sleep and be fine.
They cut that shit off at 3.5, 4 hours, and it's done. Not no 8 hours. It's done. Like that's it.
Women deserve that. The women deserve, like, because they got no reaction. It had nothing to do with them. It had everything to do with the match.
Everybody was tired. I was like, as soon as Becky hit that 1, 2, 3, I was like, finally.
I know that hurt. I know.
like I was literally, I think I was streaming WrestleMania, and I literally hit the mic because I fell asleep. I was like, finally. Boom.
At least you got to sleep right after.
Man.
Well,
But,
fair point.
What is also finally is who do you think is the fourth woman on Team Bianca after Damage Control took control? Pun intended.
Jade Cargill.
Do you expect them
why
to?
wouldn't they? Why wouldn't they?
My thing is, it's like, why would they? That's another thing. Yeah. Why?
Because you have the shot. I'm going to tell you this. We're talking about WrestleMania, right? Because at the end of the night, right, that shot right there you see with Damage Control, all you got to do is have a shot where in the middle is Bianca Belair and Jade Cargill holding each other's hands up because they've won the match. And then all you got to do is let the internet go, oh, we got to see them next to each other. What if they face each other one day? So that I'm thinking it's just that visual at the end of War Games of them holding up each other's arms. I think that's why you do it.
It's fair.
I like. You got any thoughts?
You know, as cool as Jade would be, I'm gonna take the, I guess, somewhat boring route, but I'm not gonna say boring because I actually like this wrestler and I think she kind of just needs something to do because she's just floating. And I'm just gonna say it's Mia Yim for some reason right now, because I mean, what else are you really doing with her at the moment? I mean, Styles is coming back, which I guess means the club comes back because they're always back when he's back. But in her case, she's kind of just there. Might as well find a way. I mean, you got to find a way to make it make sense. But in terms of the fact that she has the experience of a War Games match anyway, you could throw her in there, find a way to make it work some kind of way. It's just the story that's kind of the only thing to make that work. But I'm not mad if it is Jade. If it's Jade, right there, I mean, hey, let's make it work. You know what I'm saying? That visual.
Something, because I started seeing it. I don't think it's Jade. I think it's Becky. In the sense of, I think that you put Becky there. The reason I said that is, why wouldn't you put Jade Cargill on Raw with the way the women's division is right now?
That's my only thing. I'm
right. So going back to what you were talking about, I'm like, hold on, I can see Jade Cargill on Raw because you don't have to rush the
so
Jade
do you
Cargill.
Think they make this I'm about to say, do you think they make this like because there's this thing, the brand split that people want us to care about? Becky's technically on Raw. So do you think they make it like a Nick Aldis making a deal with Adam Pearce saying, hey, I'll let you borrow Becky's services in exchange for first dibs on drafting Jade Cargill or something?
Right, something like that. And that's where you can explain, like, okay, look, we got the women, to War Games here, but then Jade was going to sign with SmackDown.
They could. It could just be a straight out trade. I mean, you saw the Kevin Owens situation they did there. They could just.
I mean, if that's the case, then they would have to.
Got to go too.
I'm about to say Seth got to go too because he'll have to drop the title.
I mean, we already kind of mentioned that it's possible he's going to drop. Yeah, so I mean, if he drops that title, then that solidifies for sure something. You would think.
Okay, so true. So yeah, that's a nice little tidbit I had to ask. I was like, yeah, who do we think? Like, I wouldn't be against either one, but I'm just like, I'm thinking my brain is automatic thinking because somebody got to give a shit about the brand split. So I might as well just try to give a little bit, a little ounce. only have so many fucks to give, but it's like
I
I
don't
only
think they
have, I only have.
I don't got faith in it. I really do think they're gonna do Becky Lynch, but that's not. It's not because I'm disrespecting the brand split. It's just like I feel like that's where they're going anyway.
And in kayfabe, Becky's Bianca's only friend, like literal friend.
Right, right,
After their whole feud at WrestleMania, I believe after last year's War Games. So it's like in story, Becky's the only one that has Bianca's back. So
right, exactly.
but speaking of not having nobody back, Santos Escobar, he turned his back on Rey Mysterio and the LWO. I saw this pic on Twitter, and he was having flashbacks to Batista. You're supposed to be my friend. You're supposed to be my mentor. It's supposed to be me and you. So apparently, it wasn't just because of that. Apparently, Ray had to have surgery.
Right.
So this is like his 12th surgery on his knee.
I had 12 surgeries on my left knee.
Dislocated my shoulder.
Thank you for understanding. I was like, God, somebody's just gonna think I'm just like trying to like dunk.
No. If you've seen, like, people don't realize they don't do that no more. They stopped doing it. I think since like 2013. They don't do not try this at home no more. Like, they literally just say, you know what,
try it. Go ahead.
Do whatever you want.
Do
what you want. But yeah,
Ray, go ahead.
Go ahead. Do your thing. Ray is modern day Sting. That's all I said.
I think I had tweeted out that I was like, yo, we got to study what, like, Rey Mysterio getting his, or Rey Mysterio's family and friends hating him. Got to be studied. Like, secretly hating him.
Rhea literally at that man. She said, I think you're the problem.
Right.
You are the problem.
Like, yeah, something's going on because everybody turns on him. His son, Batista, Eddie Guerrero, Chavo.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. That's what he meant by modern day Sting, our generation Sting with all the betrayals. Because you know one thing about Steve Borden, he was always naive and always.
It's funny to say our generation Sting because like one Sting is still around. Two, Rey Mysterio and Sting been doing it around the same time.
We came out the trenches together, baby. We gonna ride out in the sunset together. Let's go.
Santos destroyed this man's right knee instead of the 5-time surgically repaired left knee.
Messed up, right? Yeah, he went after the good knee.
He went after, man. I guess he didn't want his warranty on the Detroit Become Human knee to lapse. So he had a kind heart. He did him a favor. He wanted, because apparently it was reported that he was
kind favor. He took out the man's knee.
He was. I guess it was reported that
let me come take out. I'm gonna come to North Kakalaki right now, take out your knee, and I'm doing you a favor.
Yeah, because I mean, they say he's been injured for a while, so I'm guessing he was like, "Yo, let's go ahead and get you this surgery right quick." Like, yeah, let's go ahead and do you a favor right quick. But what do you think they're going with Santos now? That you think he's going to try to take over the LWO and try to convert them to the dark side, or you think he's just going to start a whole new faction, or you just think he's going to do his own thing?
I think he takes Legato with him. I think they follow him.
I think they're all technically Legato, even Zelina, technically, because she was. Right. I'm talking about, remember when before Ray turned them into LWO, it was literally all of them, and then
Legato, right?
Just came.
You're forgetting about Carlito. The man's a menace. He's been in the LWO a month. He causing problems. He's like that one cousin at Thanksgiving. He shows up, causes problems, and everybody hates each other. And he left already. You understand? Like, I'm just saying, Santos Escobar. Like, what the hell, man?
Santos Escobar.
I think we get Carlito versus Santos
definitely.
Escobar, like as a mini feud here. But again, like I think
close out the year basically, and then they said Ray's going to be out for 6 to 8 weeks. So knowing them, if they don't bring him back at the end of the year, they're going to save him for the Rumble.
Right, and make sure I can see the spot right now. Santos tosses out people, and he's like, "Yeah," and then like Booyaka hits.
Booyaka, 619.
Like that number, looking at him, you know.
Great
You know,
Yeah.
so basically, last year WrestleMania he went against his son, and now this WrestleMania he's going to go against his protege. Ray, you a problem, bro. I'm just gonna say that. Like,
he has to be.
you
right?
are the problem. And then instigating is Carlito's way too. Like that
True.
dude was an instigator, so it
You
makes
got a
sense.
man to stab John Cena in the club.
And they out there taking pictures. Like, bro, me personally, if you get me stabbed, I'm not taking no pictures with you. You can go to hell.
Yeah, imagine you drinking like Cristal or something, and then you just get stabbed, and people taking pictures of you.
I'm bleeding out in my crystal right now.
Right.
Like,
And where's my cognac? First of all, that was what I told you. You got to pay me to be on this podcast, but I need some cognac. And you agreed to it. I have it in writing.
oh yeah, oh yeah. So you will get it in mail. You will get it in. You will get it in mail. You will
Is that
Class
illegal?
delivery, baby.
You get it
Is that
in.
legal?
You will get it in 10 to 5 business days.
This dude just said 10 to 5. I
Yes.
don't understand how it works.
I did it backwards because I mean it's probably going to be 10. You might get it in 5, but then it might be 10 again. You never know.
Right. So am I getting two of them?
Probably.
Okay.
Oh, there it is. My gosh.
But yeah, I'm interested to see what they do with Santos for real. Does B-Fab aligning with Bobby Lashley interest anybody? Or
I thought it was good because she's not really doing anything. I think they've exhausted whatever they could do with Ashanti the Adonis after releasing Top Dollar and stuff. It's like, yo, the group's dead, so you might as well do something different. I just hope it doesn't lead to like Ashanti the Adonis being like released again. But at least let her try something different, man. I mean,
why not just put him with?
I was gonna say I feel like he's gonna end up probably being with them in a sense.
It would make sense. It would totally make sense. Yeah.
Like you can have the Street Profits as the tag team, B-Fab as the manager, Bobby Lash, and she can cut a promo. So like if you don't want Bobby to cut all the promos, you can literally have B-Fab be the mouthpiece.
And bluntly, you could Bobby Lashley's like 46, 47 now. I mean, you could kind of transition him into more of a part-time role. So if he's not around, B-Fab can cut the promos for them, right?
Could be the Paul Heyman of this group.
Right, the bloodline, right, that sort of thing. So
and then Ashanti the Adonis can probably go after maybe the U.S. title or something.
Right. So I mean, I think SmackDown's going through like a
reshuffle,
shuffling, right? Yeah, of the roster, and I kind of like it. I really do like it. So Raw's women's division, y'all got to step up.
That's what I'm saying, bro. Becky and Rhea are fighting for their life. They're trying something with Zaya, but it's like, how long that gonna last? Because they've been trying stuff with Zaya for about 4 years now.
Hold up. What about that T segment on NXT? We didn't even talk about that.
Oh, we didn't? Oh, what do you think about that? Zaya Lee and
it was awkward.
Lyra Valkyrie. Like, it was awkward to me. I don't know why.
But I kind of liked it. I liked that it was awkward, if that makes sense, because it felt like Zaya was kind of running the segment.
Yeah, I thought she was like slick poisoning her or something.
Right. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It felt like that. Yeah, it felt like tension. Like so.
That's why I put it out of context. I was like, don't drink that shit. Do not drink that shit.
You're gonna wake up hella trippy. You're gonna be like, dang, what just happened?
If she wakes up at all.
Yeah, she wakes exactly. Like, you're gonna be seeing Valkyries, all right. God dang.
Right. You'll be flying in the clouds, girl.
You're gonna wake up and Thor Ragnarok, god dang. You keep on messing around.
Oh man.
And speaking of being in the clouds and being high, what do we think Mercedes Moné go when she's cleared to compete in 2024? Because remember, because she put out a cameo recently, I think last week or weekend or whatever, and basically confirmed that she's going to return to the ring in 2024. Like, what do you think? Do you think she go to AEW? Do you think she go back to New Japan? Do you think she try again in the E as Sasha Banks, or keep the Mercedes Moné name in WWE this time? Like, what do you think? What do you think? What do you think?
She has to. I think she has to go to AEW because they kind of teased her being at All In and stuff like that. And it's
she was in the crowd, wasn't she?
Right. And then you got the second All In coming up, and like I'm gonna be as blunt as I can be. Like, they need that figurehead in the women's division AEW. You know, Toni Storm. I mean, don't get me wrong, Toni Storm is doing amazing, but it's like I think she would add a lot of star power. So if I were her, I would bet on myself and go to AEW and try to bring it up
and hopefully
bring the company up.
And hopefully he doesn't fuck it up.
Right. And look, hey, I've been very scorned on AEW recently. It's kind of like I got my two kids, WWE and AEW, and it's like I see my one successful in college, and I see my one just sitting in the basement, just drinking all day, and I'm like, yo, you're supposed to be smarter than the other one.
All right, highlight. What you think about? What you think she's gonna do?
I mean, again,
on the Khan's production, or you think she's gonna try something else?
it makes sense. I mean, again, going back to the TNA. I mean, hold on, sorry. See, that's what I got on the brain was TNA because in my mind, since they're going through this TNA rebranding situation, your homegirls already over there.
You think they're gonna try? TNA gonna try to lock her down?
I wouldn't mind it because I wouldn't mind seeing it. Like, think about it with the whole situation that caused them to leave in the first place. How ironic would it be for her to show up in TNA, wrestle her best friend for that very championship, and as a slap to the face of like, yeah, this is how you would do that. You don't just randomly do it when we're tag team champions in a sense. I don't know, but it's like, TNA has, one of the best women's divisions, right there on par with like how NXT's women's division's coming up, and I guess we can say SmackDown's women's division the way it's lined up now at this point. Hopefully, Raw catches up to that. But I mean, kind of agreeing though. I mean, it just makes sense for her to be in AEW because then it just looks like, well, what was the point of spotlighting her like she was basically going to be there? But on a selfish reason, I wouldn't mind her being in TNA because it just spotlights TNA that much.
Or at least, even if she do go to AEW, she can at least do that one-off appearance because I don't think Tony has beef with TNA. So I wouldn't be surprised if he allow, like, if he does snag Mercedes and he lets her go do a program with Trinity. That'll be fun. Like. And I think that's the plus side because WWE is more exclusive, whereas AEW they let you wonder if like there's a fair trade. Because if I'm Tony, I'm gonna stop dragging my feet with the women's division. And if Mercedes want to go to work with Trinity, you can get a trade of Deonna Purrazzo, Jordan Grace, Tasha Steele. Like it's so many people there that is good. Giselle Shaw. Like, it's so many people there that are good that can carry a program if you actually give a fuck about your women's division.
Can I give a hot take, though? Can I give a hot take?
Yeah, go ahead.
I think AEW's biggest problem, I've said this before, is with the influx of ROH and stuff. I actually think it is a problem that they're so accessible because they've become just another, I don't want to say indie, but just like another 3 letters where, you have the chance for them to go to like New Japan, you have TNA, you have AEW. But if she was just strictly in AEW and only was in AEW for at least a year and maybe stop by as in New Japan, I think that would bring the value of AEW up. But it's like you have a situation where it's almost like I don't want to compare it to the brand split, but you know how people complain about the brand split? It's almost like if you can see this person in AEW, then they could go to TNA and New Japan. It's just like, okay, I'll go to whatever show is like around. I don't care about AEW. You get what I'm saying? Yeah. It's like if it's supposed to be the number 2, I shouldn't even say number 2, but if it's supposed to be one of the big 2, then I feel like there needs to be some exclusivity with someone like a Mercedes Moné because the name value's up there.
That's true. No, what butts are you putting in the seats? What I mean, we just talked about CM Punk, a little bit, and just the fact of you see what that experiment did do. Egos aside, as far as just the eyes factor, the ratings factor. So say what you will, man. Her fans are loyal, man. They will follow her wherever.
They are, and that's what I'm getting at. Is like she can bring in some eyes. And I'm a hot take, but I view wrestling as a business. It's called a wrestling business. Okay, you can have the best roster in the world, right? So you could bring in Mercedes Moné. They just brought in Adam Copeland, but it's like you have the best roster in the world, but if you're not doing anything with it, it doesn't mean anything. So what I'm trying to get at is like, I think you've done as much as you can do for the indie crowd. Okay, the diehards. I would consider the 3 of us in here diehards. Okay,
yeah,
we're already watching. Okay. It's the people who are not watching that you got to bring them in. That's the only way that you can get ratings because the ratings stay consistent because only the same 3 people that are on this podcast are watching. You see what I'm saying? But you got to bring in number 4 who like kind of likes wrestling but only knows WWE, but maybe he doesn't know this other. you gotta appeal to them to create new fans. And I think that's what AEW stopped doing.
And if it's just matches after matches after matches with a select few interesting stories, ain't nobody gonna care.
But
and you have ROH's library, do some video packages, dude. It's like,
this is true. That's true. And I will say this to add to what you're saying about more of a campaign of if she goes there, AEW, you cannot drop this ball with Mercedes the way you did with Jade. The
No,
way she crosses over in a mainstream appeal,
she's in the Mandalorian, brother.
like seriously,
there
you
you go.
cannot mess that up, bro. You can't. Like, you got to go all in with her if that's the case. I mean,
Unintended.
I see what you did there.
see, you see, I'm just saying, man. Like, hey, don't mess this up, Tony Khan.
You
Like,
do not have many more chances because there are not a lot of people that you can bring in to bring eyes to AEW. You know what I mean? So to me, it's like, who you gonna bring in? Goldberg? Goldberg's 50-something years old. You get what I'm saying? Like someone to bring us. But Adam Copeland coming in, he's 50 years old right now. Mercedes Monet's young. She's still in her prime, and she's got a good following. How many more of those you got? If you show that you can treat her right, now you got a chance at some other people when their contracts come up, and that's a big thing to me because I know the 2024 thing and MJF and all that, but it's like, but if it did, right? Yeah. To me, that'd be like such a death blow to AEW.
It'll be one of the death blows for sure because he's one of their most over baby faces right now. So it's up to you, Tony Khan. It's up to you, honestly. Like, you just gotta, the ball's in your court. Make it appealing, make it make sense, and whatever she doing in 2024, my goofy ass is going to be seated. Like, wherever Mercedes go, I'll go. Like, she's one of my top female wrestlers in the world. So there's that.
I got a video she sent me on my phone. I'm gonna post it tonight.
All right, bet.
Come on now.
No, that's a legit statement. I'll leave that out of context though.
Continental Classic. Let's talk about that real quick. What you guys think about the Continental Classic? AEW is basically their version of the G1. Kenny, what's your thoughts on this?
So I like that, and this goes back to the exclusivity thing. Like, they could have easily just said, like, okay, we're going to put AEW people in the G1 Classic. Nah, screw all that. Do your own stuff. So I'm all for stuff like this, and I hope it's part of like the rebranding, which is like, okay, we're going to do our own thing. I like it because it's a vehicle to build a new star if they utilize it correctly.
Highlight, what's your thoughts on it?
Should be interesting, but given when we talk about number ones and number twos here, makes me wonder that much more with Mr. Triple H over there. If this means we're going to see some other classics return in their own right,
the
like
Cruiserweight
Classic or the Mae Young Classic, any of those. I mean, they were bangers, and look what they did for a lot of people. Bianca Belair, Io Sky, you know what I'm saying?
Ripley was in it too.
Rhea Ripley, Raquel Rodriguez. So many of these women came from that classic. And I mean, we can say enough about the Cruiserweight Classic too, Cedric Alexander's of the world and so forth and so forth. Yeah. So I mean, DIY, So I mean, hey man, I'm excited to see what AEW does with this. And I'm intrigued now because now WWE would be the odd man out, and Triple H is definitely going to create something back. I feel like.
Right. So for those of you who don't know what the Continental Classic is a round robin tournament that will feature 12 AEW wrestlers. Khan didn't announce the full lineup of talent, but did confirm that Bryan Danielson, who just fucked up his eye, will be a part of the tournament. And the tournament will kick off officially during the November 22nd, 2023 episode of Dynamite in Chicago with a championship final match. So I'm guessing it's going to be a title match with the final taking place at AEW World's End on December 30th in Long Island. So I'm guessing the winner of this tournament gets a title match because it says a championship final. I don't know if it's going to be a championship final for like you're the first ever Continental Classic champion or number one. Like it's not enough details, but I'm interested. Like, as far as Bryan Danielson, like, who do you want to like? Okay, so just something fun. I'm gonna get just one. Who do you want in the final? Like, who do you predict to win Block A, Block B? I personally see Bryan. If they're in separate tournament and in separate blocks, I see Bryan Danielson winning one block, and I see maybe Kenny Omega win a second block, and then that's your final. the rematch of the draw from, was it 2 years ago? I think.
Almost. Well, yeah, two
2 years ago. Yeah, so
Mhm.
2 years ago, like they never got a conclusive finish there, so that might be an interesting story. Or if they are in the same block, that should be your final for that
For
block.
the block, right?
So regardless, I want to see Bryan Danielson versus Kenny Omega one last time. So
I was actually gonna put Kota Ibushi on one side of the block, just because I feel like that'd be the connection to like New Japan and things like that, and the G1. So it's just like, I mean, shit. I mean, imagine Kenny Omega and Kota Ibushi in the finals. You know what I mean? You put that, and it's just like, oh, like we got to fight. But I would like to see Danielson and Ibushi. Have they ever touched?
I don't think so. No.
Right, and that was the first thought that came to mind, and I was like, oh, I hope Gresh doesn't say
The
it.
chat can always let us know if they have, but I don't think so. Like, it's a lot of first time errors with Bryan Danielson because I feel like he was
mean,
like when he and they probably have faced in ROH when Ibushi was probably a young lion, maybe.
Right, but even then, he wasn't like Kota Ibushi. You know what I mean? Like he wasn't like who he is now. But granted, you know, he's slowed down a little bit due to
This
injuries.
Kota is kind
You
of
still want to see that with this version, though, is the question. Because I don't know, man.
this Kota's
And I
kind of
mean Danielson too with the injury.
That's
But
fair.
yeah,
well Danielson's on his last year, so he already knows like it's a wrap. I'm done.
right, and that's kind of why I'm saying like, okay, Danielson and Ibushi, because it's like we don't have many chances at a lot of these matches. That's kind of what I was. Same thing with Sting, right? So
it's like we all of our favorites are retiring, so we have to acknowledge that. But yeah, the Continental Classic, that's a interesting concept because and fortunately this time this version of the G1 I'll be wide awake watching it. Like I won't be 2-3 o'clock in the morning trying to watch this shit. So there's that. But we definitely want to hear what you guys think about the Continental Classic. Like, who do you guys want to see in the finals? Like, is this something that intrigues you? Definitely let us know. Danielson finna go out guns blazing for real. 5-star tummy gun. That
please
is
don't ever mention Rocky V in my presence.
yeah.
Like, them is fighting words to me. Hey, yo, I'll kick your ass in the street, Tommy. You know, like no.
Perfect.
We might as well go ahead and switch it to All Elite right quick before we go into Full Gear. Basically, where we're gonna look at what's happening on the final, I guess you say Dynamite before Full Gear this Saturday. We're going to hear from MJF after the brutal attack on the Acclaim. They'll hear from the World Heavyweight Champion as well as ROH Tag Team Champion. And speaking of Kota Ibushi, we'll get the street fight that's sponsored by Sega. It'll be Kenny Omega, the Golden Jets, sorry. Kenny Omega and Chris Jericho, Kota Ibushi, this version of Kota Ibushi, and Paul White. Versus Brian Cage, Kyle Fletcher, Powerhouse Hobbs, and Konosuke Takeshita. What y'all think about this match? Like, is this what the hell are they doing with this feud?
It's confusing. I'll be honest with you. It's yeah. The Paul, I don't want to diss the man. Paul White's a legend, but like I was scared for him when he came out the stage and his hip was looking all, like he should be out there. But so hopefully it's just a fun, quick thing, especially with the Sega theme. I think it's just going to be a quick, kind of like one of those matches like you see at WrestleMania. What was that match with the Street Profits and the tag teams and stuff like that?
Oh, you talking about like the cinematic match, like a cinematic type game?
No. Well, more so like
the WrestleMania Showcase.
Right, something like that. Something that's just like quick and themed, or like okay, Bray Wyatt's last match was like the Mountain Dew Pitch Black match, and it was themed in such a
using as hell.
Right, and so I'm like, maybe they'll do something like that where it's like Sega based and effects and something. So that's why Paul White's involved, because it's gonna be like maybe they go backstage and he does something in a pre-tape. So
I'm gonna say Big Slow should not be there. I'm sorry.
That's a fair fact.
That's a fact, though. It's a fact. They just announced. Tony Khan just announced the Young Bucks versus Penta El Zero Miedo and Commander. I'm guessing because they're building to they're wrestling before they wrestle on Saturday. There's that. We have John Moxley and Wheeler Yuta versus international champion Orange Cassidy and Hook. that's going to happen. And the customary women's match that's going to probably be at 9:30. Sky Blue versus Red Velvet. Red versus blue.
Right, lots of colors going on. That's exactly what I was going to
Prince
say.
versus blood.
Yeah, go figure.
They out there.
Yeah.
It took me a second.
It's a Crip versus Blood already. Oh boy.
But we mentioned MJF speaking. Who do you think the devil is?
I think it has to be Jack Perry
You think it's Jack Perry?
because of because of the size. I mean, granted, they could have somebody else in the costume, but it's just like, especially like that right there. It's like real glass, you know?
Crimea River.
Right, like, but it's one of those things where it's just like, how are they going to reintroduce him? And I think that's a good way to reintroduce him after his suspension, which is like, okay, Jack Perry was the devil, so it could make it seem like, in other words, he was on TV this entire time.
True. That's what I'm saying. Like, it'll be interesting. Like, will it interest me per se? Not 100%, but at the same time, I'm not going to lose sleep if it is him, because it's like, it could be worse. They could just turn MJF back heel and say he's the devil all along, but it's like, why would you jeopardize arguably your biggest babyface for this?
Yeah.
And some people probably, I think I was listening to Solid Monster, love listening to him. He was like, they could also do a swerve similar to the Rikishi Stone Cold thing, where Rikishi was the driver, but Triple H was the mastermind.
Right?
They can have say Jungle Boy be the devil, but Adam Cole, once he's cleared,
right,
can be the mastermind.
That's where I was gonna go next, which is like, it could be a good way to, like, they've stalled to get Adam Cole his time away, and then he could come back, which I would prefer that. I think, but like what you just said is a very good scenario. If Adam Cole's not cleared, like, yeah, he's the mastermind, and then there's at least more layers to it. But, you know, like you said, also, like, I'm not going to be disappointed either way, because, like, I don't want to say I don't have faith in the storyline, but I'm not trying to think like, oh my God, this is going to be some WWE superstar jumping, and I'm not trying to trick myself into like, or it's CM Punk and he's actually coming back, and like nothing like that. I think
I've seen that happen too, where people was like, oh, it might be CM Punk. I'm like, bro, really?
Yeah, right. And I think that, I'm like, those type of people are going to be disappointed because they've worked themselves to like a little bit too much of what it is. But hey, I would gladly be wrong, like I said.
True. And last thing before we move to Full Gear predictions, thoughts on Mariah May being All Elite? Are any of you familiar with her work?
Yes. So I had tweeted out that her and Julia would be like big in the States in the next 2 years. And both of them, I mean, obviously Mariah May is like signed with AEW. And then Julia's rumored to be at the WWE Performance Center last week. So it's happening.
True, because we did talk about Julia on last week's show. So yeah, it's intriguing. Like, I know for a fact that if Julia goes to WWE, they're gonna tell her to calm the fuck down, because she's stiff as hell.
or she's working Asuka like a lot.
You're going to see Asuka versus Julia 20 by the time Raw 5,000 hits. Like, you're going to be seeing that a lot, because yeah, I saw clips. I was like, God damn.
Right.
They are not going to have her in the ring with Tiffany, because Tiffany is she's going to die.
That's probably why they took her to the Performance Center. They were like, listen, we're going to let you practice a little bit. Like, you're gonna have to not hit as hard here.
But what do you think about what they're doing with Mariah? Like, I'm pretty sure they're teasing pretty much a remake of Mickie James and Trish Stratus, for that type of story, because she's a fan of Tony.
I think that if they didn't do that, I think it would have been bad, because I don't want to say she's similar to Toni Storm, but it's like she's in the vein of a Toni Storm, right? So like, I feel like she could have got lost in the shuffle. It actually is a very intriguing storyline to have her be obsessed with Toni Storm, so that now it's almost like their existences are acknowledged together, and then she can kind of be a branch off of Tony Storm, because I mean, we'll get there, but I think Tony's going to do big things.
Yeah.
Hint, hint. So I think Mariah maybe being attached to her is going to could be a good starter feud, or assuming it leads to that.
Oh, okay. So I'm intrigued what they do. Like, long as Tony actually just goes crazy with the women's division heading into the new year. Like, that's my only thing. Like, that's been my only gripe for the past 4 years. Do something with them outside of the 9:30 slot and random interview segment. Like,
Agreed.
incorporate them with other storylines and actually make it a good storyline. I'm not talking about Britt Baker and Adam Cole versus Jericho and Saraya. That was not good. So stuff like, make it interesting. So I'm interested in see what they do with that. Might as well, before we get up out of here, might as well go ahead and switch to our AEW Full Gear 2023 speed round predictions. For those of you who are new to the podcast, who don't know how we do things over here, we don't do full breakdowns. We give ourselves 60 seconds to explain our picks, but we are going to basically give our picks, give our thoughts, or whatever, or however match. But this coming Saturday is AEW Full Gear live from the Key Forum in California. So as of now, there's confirmed 9 matches, but knowing Tony Khan, there'll be like 12 more matches. That'll be added on Saturday, the day of, for the buy-in and all that good stuff. So since we got a special guest for this predictions, I might as well go ahead and let everybody know how we're going to do it this go round and going forward. It's time to crown an inaugural Freepedia Gold Chain champion. Basically, the winner of whoever gets the most picks will be able to rock a gold chain whenever they are on the show. So if our guest ever rocks a gold chain, like how I'm rocking a gold chain right now, I'm not allowed to rock a gold chain. But if you do win the predictions, you rock a gold chain. If there is a draw, none of us can rock a gold chain. So we gotta get our predictions right for predictions, so we can rock the gold chain. Like, bro, I'm trying to be dripped out. The gold chain is becoming who I am. So we gotta make it make sense. So do
prime time, baby.
Prime time, baby. So far I only have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 graphics out of the 9 because AEW doesn't release them all at once. But we might as well go ahead and get started with the tag team of the Golden Jets and the Young Bucks, where the winner becomes the number 1 contender for the tag team titles. Let's start with you. Highlight, who do you pick out of this encounter?
You know what? I'm gonna go with the Golden Jets because despite people out there I've heard that say the Young Bucks kind of desperately need a win these days, I don't know, man. These guys have kind of just been one heck of a tandem. I don't see what would cause them to lose right now all of a sudden. They've already lost to the Don Callis family. I don't know how many times already. They both kind of need this, to be honest.
Okay. Kenny, who you got out of these two?
I am just going to say I am kind of sick of the whole Kenny Omega and a partner versus the Young Bucks kind of storyline. For the record right now, I think the Bucks take this, and I don't know if they turn heel or something, but I think the Bucks take this. Because I think they need the tag team championship at this point. I think they're doing a lot of nothing, and it's just like they need to do something. And Kenny Omega and Chris Jericho could do other stuff anyway. So
yeah, because I'm ready for singles Kenny again. Like, I don't even know why this is a team.
That's what my ex-girlfriend said when she broke up with me too.
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness.
But and I might as well go ahead and add to it. Like, I feel like the Young Bucks should win because Chris Jericho and Kenny is just, why is this a thing? So that's gonna be my pick, honestly, the Young Bucks as well. And speaking of what we just talked about, Tony Two Cheeks, we're gonna go ahead and Timeless Tony versus Hikaru Shida for the AEW Women's World Championship. Let's start with you, Kenny. Who do you think who you got winning this one?
I mean, the thing is, I hate that they're flip flopping the title between these two a lot, but at the same time, Toni Storm needs the title. I think there is her character is just leading the women's division right now, and to have the championship and have her go crazy, I think would just be good television.
All right, highlight. Who you got?
I'm gonna agree with Ken on that one and say Tony Storm because I mean, why not go with the hot hand? And I mean, even though Sheeta's been having good matches, Tony Storm, man, you got to ride that hot hand, baby.
I feel like we all got the same pick because I'm gonna have to go basically going off of what they're doing is literally I as much as I would hate for Sheeta to lose the title like this, they're literally setting it up for Tony to finally win the title back. It's entertaining. She's calling Tony Schiavone Shaban. She's calling like she's pulling oranges out of her cheeks for some reason. It's like it's random shit.
We complaining or
But it's hilarious at the same time. So I definitely got to go with Tony Storm with getting that dub. Next up, we got the Fatal 4-Way match for the AEW World Tag Team Championships. LFI, FTR, House of Black challenging Ricky Starks and Big Bill for the tag team titles. Let's start with you. Highlight who you got winning this one.
Yeah, give me Ricky Starks and Big Bill, man. I don't see why they would get those titles off of them this early. FTR just kind of lost those. I don't think they would need them back right now. And House of Black's kind of just there these days. So, yeah, give me Ricky Starks and Big Bill, y'all.
Gotcha. How about you, Kenny?
I would agree with that because it makes sense, but at the same time, I'm like FTR because it's like FTR versus the Bucks for the tag team titles. I can see that being the feud, so I'm gonna go with FTR.
Okay. I can understand that. So you got FTR. I ain't gonna lie to you. I'm kind of torn between Ricky and Bill and LFI because they just returned, and it would be a nice little something to kick off their return. But at the same time, it's a fatal 4-way, so they don't have to necessarily take the pin because it's not a fatal 4-way elimination. I'm gonna have to go with the champs retaining the titles by dubious means. So I might have to go with that because I'm not really I wouldn't understand why they would give the titles back to FTR at the same time, but I would not be against it if the goal of FTR versus the Young Bucks is the end game. So
Right.
there's next up we have Texas Death Match. Hangman Adam Page versus Swerve Strickland. This is the second encounter, a rematch from the last AEW pay-per-view. What was that? What was that pay-per-view? The last
There
one.
were so many.
The last one.
Oh, Russell Dream.
Russell Dream. Okay, so yeah, it's a rematch from that one. Swerve done broken in his man's house, taunted over his kid, all that
Right.
stuff. So let's go ahead and start with you, Kenny. Who do you think is going to win in this Texas Death Match?
It's one of those things where it's like if you ask me who I want to win, I would say Swerve, but it's like I feel like what Swerve did to this man, if he doesn't get a win in this match, something is wrong with him. So I'm leaning towards Hangman Adam Page getting the win, but it is paining my heart to say that because I think Swerve, bluntly, I think Swerve is the first black AEW champion. I think he's the next guy. I think, I wouldn't be surprised I don't know if he's in that tournament, but I wouldn't be surprised if he's the next guy to get the title shot.
Swerve.
So I would say Hangman.
Swerve when you drive. Highlight, who you got?
I'm gonna roll the barrel some more, and to Ken's point, I want Swerve to win this, but one thing about it is, you can't invade a man's home and torture or mess with a man's kids and lose. Plus, it's a Texas Death Match. Last time I checked, this is kind of his match because I don't think he's ever lost one of these.
Nope, he beat Murder Hawk Monster, who ain't got a body yet, and he beat, I believe, was it Adam Cole?
Yeah, and I mean, he's a cowboy who does cowboy-ish, so it's only fitting that this kind of match is his to win. So I'm definitely going with Adam Page. But There will likely probably be some kind of rubber match, and give me Swerve if that ever happens, assuming he as well doesn't win that final. So give me Adam.
Okay, so I'm not gonna leave my man hanging out to dry. I'm not gonna leave Swerve hanging. So my man Swerve, I swerve when I drive. Top roach, top rope, catch a vibe.
Man, I knew it was coming. I knew
I'm
it.
like, yeah. So we swerve when we drive, swerve when we drive. So I'm gonna have to go with my main swerve. I'm gonna have to go. I'm not gonna leave you hanging out there, Prince Nana. I know he would be feeling some type of way if that was the case. Next up, we have the AEW International Championship. Orange Cassidy versus John Moxley. Gonna start with you. Highlight who you got.
This is a tricky and tough one in many aspects because one's coming off of injury and one was kind of like a placement filler here. Yet the banger they had also kind of just makes you say we both win regardless of who wins. So I'm gonna go with John Moxley, I guess, if he's healthy enough, and just pick up basically where he left off from the unfortunate injury that happened before.
Okay. How about you, Kenny? Who you got?
I mean, the same thing. Which I think Mox is gonna get it back because he was supposed to have it. I assume. So yeah, I just think they're gonna go right back to what they were doing, put it with Mox, and then have him go on to the feuds that he was supposed to have.
Well, I'm not gonna piss off my homegirl Keeks representing the Public Enemies podcast. I'm not gonna leave Orange Cassidy out to dry because I've been paying attention to how he won the title this go round. He was looking at it like he was obsessed with it now. So I would not be surprised if Orange Cassidy cheats to win or finds some type of way to keep the title because the last time he won the title he was celebrating with everybody, but when he won the title this time it was he kind of snapped into like, yo, don't take my title. So I will not. So I'm gonna have to go ahead and lean again for this one and go ahead and give the dub to our boy Orange Cassidy. So next up, we got the kickoff match for the ROH World Tag Team Championship. MJF and a partner to be chosen versus the Guns of Bullet Club Gold. Let's start with you, Kenny. Who do you think is going to win this one?
Well, let's also talk about who it's gonna probably
Well,
be.
look, who do you think is going to be the partner of
Uh,
MJF, and then who you think is going to win?
I think it would make the most sense, especially with the claim being taken out, to be Billy Gunn, just because it's like that's his boys, right? Why not face him? So
Okay.
I'm just thinking that if Adam Cole's not healthy or something like that, which I assume he's not, but yeah, I see MJF. Yeah, it's a hard one actually because I want to just say MJF retaining, but I'm like maybe we should get the titles off of him and to the Guns. But okay, I'll go MJF.
Okay.
Final answer.
So
Yeah.
you go with Billy winning and then the Gun. I mean, Billy being the partner, then the Gun. I mean, MJF winning. Okay.
Right.
Okay. What about you, Highlight?
As much as I wouldn't mind the Guns taking it, it's safe to say MJF is going to retain this. As far as a partner is concerned, that's a tough call. I'm just gonna shoot in the dark here and just for some random reason say Kyle O'Reilly. It's just, what the heck? Why not? You know?
I'm about to say, we might. I, for one, see it being Samoa Joe as a
Yes.
partner, but I see him kind of screwing MJF over because remember he vacated the ROH television title and was like,
Right.
"I'm coming for your world title." MJF has no other options but to pick Joe as his partner, and they sync for a while. They do their thing, and then they're like, "Yeah, we're done." And he's like, "I'm done here," and then he chokes him out or something, and that kicks off his program with MJF officially for the title. So and then they put the titles on the Guns. So I can see that happening. It kind of leads into Jay White feeling confident heading into the main event. So I see Joe being the partner and then the Guns winning the titles. And speaking of the main event, might as well go ahead and talk about the main event, which is for the World Heavyweight title. MJF defending against Jay White, Switchblade, ride with the Switchblade. Real quick, highlight, who do you think is going to win this one?
Very interesting here, given the fact just said with that last prediction, because if it is Joe screwing over MJF, at some point you wonder what is the health going to be like of MJF. But it's safe to say, since he technically is the real champion, he will retain this title only for Samoa Joe to possibly, I guess, attack him some more, maybe, hinting that he's still trying to get his eyes on that title.
Okay, Kenny, who you got?
Yeah, I think MJF has to get revenge for Jay White basically stealing the championship. So I'm gonna go ahead and say MJF, but I do think like we get some like what the devil revealed or something like that at the end of this. So something to like get MJF off his game after getting the title back.
So we basically all agree that MJF is retaining.
Yes.
That's pretty much my pick too. It's like MJF, like I like all due respect to Jay White, but they're not finna take the title off of him right now. They're building to either MJF and Cole, or if they want to pivot and put the title on Joe. But I don't see them taking the title off of Jay right now. And the last match that I've known that was announced was the triple threat, which is Chris Statlander defending the TBS Women's Championship against either the winner of Red Velvet or Sky Blue and Julia Hart, who won against, I believe, Willow on Collision. So who do you real quick, who do you think is going to win that TBS title match?
Ooh. Well, safe to say it's pretty much Chris Stat. I don't know who's really beating her for this title right now at this point. It's going to be a long road before someone takes that title off her hands, man. So,
what you think, Kenny?
It's hard because same thing. I see like Chris Statlander is a long-term champion, but I can also see them kind of pulling the trigger on Julia Hart. You know, because they have the whole feud with, or she has that feud going on with the rest of them. And I think it would make more sense for the heel to have the champion and have the rest of them chasing her. Mm-hmm. I'm going to go with the bold statement just because I'm looking for that gold chain. And I'm just going to say Julia.
You going to say Julia?
Yeah, because if we all guess the same thing, we all can't wear it at the same time.
That's true. That's true. I rocks with that. Okay.
Well, in my case, I was literally going to, like, if you didn't pick Julia, I was going to pick Julia. So we both picking Julia because I'm like, there's no way they having Julia lose twice for the TBS title. She's been interesting with the House of Black. Put some gold on her, and let's see her run with it because she's one of the most improved women, in my opinion, in ring wise during her short time.
Out of nowhere too, just out of nowhere. She just like, you know, in a good way, like had no business being that good that quick. So it's just like, yeah, it's kind of the same thing you said earlier about Toni Storm. It's like pull the trigger while you got the chance, especially since it's the secondary title. It's like there's no harm, no foul right here. Give it to Julia Hart. Let her do her thing on Collision.
Oh yeah, for sure. And that is our preview and predictions for AEW Full Gear 2023, to be determined on if we do a post show for Full Gear. It's this Saturday. I have a wedding that day, but I believe it ends before. I'm not getting married, but a best friend of mine is getting married. But she assured me that it'll end at 6. So if it ends at 6, I'll be back in time for Full Gear, and we'll more than likely we'll see what everybody's schedule is like. Even in Kenny, if you're available, you can come on too, and cool. we'll do that, and we'll give our immediate thoughts on Full Gear. Hopefully, it's knowing it's AEW, knowing them, but it'll be midnight.
Right. I was gonna say by the time you get off the wedding, like that, the pay-per-view will be like match 2.
Definitely like maybe still match 1. You know, they like do 50 hours for one match. But before we get up out of here, because we know it's been a good episode of this podcast. Appreciate you for hopping with us. Damn near 2 hours, but it's been 2 hours worth of fun and entertainment. Appreciate y'all for kicking with us in the chat. Technical difficulties and all with mics and all that stuff, but it's still a good time. Before we get up out here, we typically do this every time so we can let everybody know. But both myself as well as a guest will pick the song of the week, and it will be posted on social media. My song of the week for this week is PYT, Pretty Young Thing by Michael Jackson. Like that hit the playlist. I'm like, yo, that's it. That's my song. Highlight, who you got?
Oh boy. Yeah, I'm gonna take it with Q-Tip, and I'm gonna go. Actually, no. I'm gonna go Tribe Called Quest, Electric Relaxation.
Yes. Oh, okay.
There we go.
Okay. Kenny, you got a song that you want to get right quick? Like anything. It don't. It
I was
just to set the
I,
vibe.
I was cleaning the house the other day, right? And I
Mhm.
was in the mood for some, like, I don't know, I was putting on random stuff. And you know what I put on? So this is gonna be my song of the week right now. I Have Nothing by Miss Whitney Houston.
Ooh.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. Okay.
Yes. So I've had that song. I was literally taking notes for this podcast, getting on. You know, I take my stuff seriously.
Okay.
And that literally just replaying that song in my head the whole time. And I'm like, what song do it? Oh, obviously the one that's in my head.
Yeah, for sure. And speaking of for sure's, is I appreciate you guys for always kicking it with yours truly as well. This pretty much is for sure the end of our show. Thank you so much for joining us. Where can they follow you on social media? Let's start with you, Kenny. Where can they follow anything that's going on with you?
Don't follow me. There's a lot of trauma involved if you follow me, and it's just like
Yeah,
there's a lot of
he's
debauchery.
out of pocket. He's out of pocket.
Yeah, yeah. I pretty much tweet in character. Like I'm sure y'all could tell. Like I'm actually a nice guy, a good dad, and things like that. But the way I tweet is like I am just yeah, out of pocket is probably the best way to say it. But it is at _ Kenny Thoughts. Yes. So I literally tweet the first thing that comes to my brain, and it gets me in trouble. Every single time.
I used to do that. I don't do that no more.
Right.
I got canceled for like 2 weeks. I'll say I'm not doing that again. I don't feel like dealing with that bullshit.
I say this on this podcast though. I got canceled or quote unquote canceled for saying something out of pocket about a woman or something, right? Natalia messages me. I'm gonna say it right on the podcast. Natalia messages me all during that stuff and says, I like your content, keep doing what you're doing. And I was like, that's why I don't listen to people. Because the source is telling me she liked my content.
That's the same thing with like AJ, Top Dollar, and all these people. They'd be like, keep doing your thing.
Right.
Kenny, we love your out of pocketness.
Thank you. Mental illness.
People have spoken.
Holla, where can they get you as always?
Oh man, you already know what's up, man. Y'all see it right there on the scroll. Follow your boy at Highlight Life, HILITE Life, or check it out on the Life's a Botch podcast. All things Life's a Botch podcast, with the exception of Twitter, Life's a Botch crew. But nonetheless, man, appreciate y'all as always.
Yes, sir. And as always, make sure you guys follow yours truly at It's Gresh on Twitter only, or X. I don't call it that. Make sure you follow us there, as well as you follow the podcast itself at Gresh Unleashed everywhere. But if you want to follow yours truly, my personal account everywhere, Josh Gresham ORG, is literally Facebook, Twitter. Or if you are watching over on Twitch, appreciate you guys for that follow at AO is Gresh. AO is Gresh on TikTok. It's literally, if it's not AO is Gresh or it's Gresh, it's literally Josh Gresham RG. It's a lot of shit. I'm in the transition phase of phasing out Joshua and putting just Gresh. So we're gonna figure that out. But if you want to follow the podcast itself at www.gressunleashed.com is the central hub, or you can just follow or click the link solo.to/Gresh. And with that being said, hopefully you guys enjoyed this chaotic episode of the Gresh Unleashed podcast. And with that being said, make sure you guys keep in tune for the Talking Ish sessions. Check out that Jay Bougie interview. Check out the upcoming Low Wrestling Wind Down interview. And make sure you guys scan that QR code that way, right there, where you can check out you can stream the theme song, the Unleashed anthem, as well as the alternate theme, Talking Ish, or Talk My Ish, excuse me. And remember to always be true to yourself, stay true to yourself. It's okay to be a nice guy. It's okay to be a nice person. It's literally okay. I promise. And with that being said, you guys make sure you stay safe out here in these streets. And remember to always eat, sleep, flex, and repeat. Cop the merch, and y'all be breezy.